I forgot the teacups today.
It's okay.
So I brought mugs. Usually my tradition on Wednesday mornings is I pack tea towels around all my teacups.
Nice.
But alas, and then Lauren has a Diet Coke.
It's all good.
Lauren, I think this is the first time since we switched to doing video.
Yeah, that I've been able to do.
Well, definitely that we've done it together, but is it
ever.
period?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Welcome to the new studio. The new ways of problematic women.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. Our stream quality, I think, is top notch.
It is.
I think it's great.
Very clear.
But you know who
clearest.
failed on their streaming quality? Now they're being sued for it.
I don't know, Virginia, who failed.
Wait, are we already going?
We're going now.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. This new version is so casual.
We keep it cash. We keep it cash. So Netflix is being sued for seriously botching the streaming of the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight. Because so many people tried to log on and view it. I think there was like 60 million households tried to stream it on, what was that? Saturday night? Friday night?
Yeah.
Friday night. Yeah.
I tried to stream it. It would not work.
It was just all blurry.
On Netflix? Did you try to stream it on Netflix?
On my phone, yeah.
Ooh.
Because I was really interested. I mean, it's like young, kid who, like, you want to see punch in the face.
I know. So the takes that I heard, and I'd be curious to get your reaction, was like it was all just super scripted. Like the whole thing seemed scripted, and it was like Mike Tyson was like, "Sure, I'll let you in for $20 million."
Well, and like honestly, this is my question to you guys: Would you be beat up if you got $20 million?
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
No.
Wait,
for $20 million?
For $20 million? I don't know. That's hard.
Oh, I
mean, what is how many times did he get punched in the face?
I don't know, but who cares?
I already have traumatic brain things from soccer.
Yeah, but
I don't know that I'd do that.
His life. Mike Tyson got beat up for years.
Also, you'd never have to work a day in your life. You
might be paralyzed.
I guess Mike Tyson never has to work a day in his life already.
Well, he had so much debt that he had to that's why you see all those memes like Kamal's like, I'll fight you, Jake Paul.
The Babylon me put out a piece that was like, to get out of campaign debt, Kamala Harris agrees to fight Jake Paul for $20 million.
I don't know. I finally got to work at the very end.
Okay.
And it was sad to me. Like Mike Tyson, he's a great, but he's past his prime.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know, the whole thing just felt a little awkward.
Yeah.
Jake Paul has not come across as the nicest human in his interviews. And you just have this young, cocky kid there beating up a legend. And then Trump is there and Elon. The whole thing just felt weird.
Well, Trump, I think, went the next night. I don't think he was there on Friday night, right?
Wait, no, I think he was. I think there's photos of him and Mike Tyson.
Oh, yeah, because I think Tyson gave him the bell.
That was a different night.
That was a different night, yeah.
Fake news.
Because the boxer who won, he did the Trump dance.
Right. Then he gave him the belt. Yeah.
I think it was
There's
Saturday.
so many memes, though, that are Trump watching Mike Tyson. So someone's got on Twitter is doing it wrong. They're confused.
Yeah.
My favorite part of all of that was Mike Johnson in the background.
Yes.
It's Trump and Elon, and then Mike Johnson's in the background,
hey
smiling.
guys. He's such a sweetie.
Oh, I know. But I thought it was. I mean, it was really disappointing. But honestly, I just wanted to see the last 5 minutes of the fight, and I saw the last 5 minutes of the fight.
Despite the adversity and the streaming issues,
nevertheless, she persisted.
I mean, but these are the moments why we have social media and why Instagram is awesome. There's so many just hilarious reels.
Absolutely.
So I want to play one because it's this just summarizes that whole fight so well.
Mike, follow the script, man. You're hitting me hard, man. What was I supposed to do? Still giving me that 20 mil, right? Yeah, I got you with the 20 mil. Yo, I want that extra 10, bro. Mike, punch you. Right there? We gotta make this look realistic. Don't punch me hard. Yo, I'm still getting that 20 mil, right? Yeah, I got you. Yo, I want that wired.
10 seconds left of round 8.
Anyway,
so funny.
Yeah, Instagram was on fire. It's okay.
That's how a movie would be filmed.
Literally.
Yeah.
And I think that's why people were wait a second.
Yeah, it was a movie. That's why Netflix had it.
Yeah.
And they, even though I'm paying them $25 now a month so that I can.
Yeah, I canceled my Netflix.
That's smart.
I canceled everything.
I think I'm actually paying just for the one household.
Well, I'm still bumming off my dad's Amazon Prime, so I still have that.
I mean,
but I was like,
girl.
I have all these services. I never use them.
Yeah.
And I just got angry.
Except for when you want to use them, like when the Bridgerton or like Emily in Paris comes out, that's when you gotta. No, but it's 25 something or maybe even more now to share it with other people. So my sister, like when she wants it, I have to up my amount that month. It's kind of lame.
I have them all. Hulu, HBO Max, Paramount Plus.
So Lauren, you want to share some?
Is it more or less than cable for having those?
It doesn't matter.
She just needs some. She's like, right here.
I enjoy watching television.
Yeah.
And like $15 a month.
Oh, no. Yeah. Well, and I think that was the thing. Like, if I use them, then it's worth it. But I didn't use them.
Yeah.
Like, gotta
just depends on the day and the time
like Elon,
for me.
We're just cutting fat. You know?
I've been doing a lot of YouTube TV now because of current events. So that's been my Netflix more so.
Well, that's $85 a month.
I know. It's kind of insane.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying, like, don't you have YouTube TV or no?
I do have YouTube.
Right. So you've got, again, how much are you spending on these?
I don't pay for YouTube Plus. That's probably the only thing I don't pay for.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Man.
Oh. Wow. Well, welcome to Problematic Women. I'm Virginia Allen.
I'm Kristen Eichhammer.
And I'm Lauren Evans.
So here every week on the show, if you're joining us for the first time, we sort through the news. We look at the stories that are of particular interest to conservative leaning or problematic women. That's you if you're a conservative woman. We don't fit the left's mold of what a feminist should be. And we just kind of embrace that. And so we love being problematic. So we have some major actually breaking news.
Yeah.
We don't always talk about breaking news on the show, but today we are talking about breaking
close to our hearts,
people are going to listen to
too.
this tomorrow. So
but if they listen on YouTube, they're listening today.
Oh, wow.
3 p.m.
This whole new world.
We're catching Lauren up. It's trial by fire right now.
Or Rumble, YouTube or Rumble.
Yeah. YouTube or Rumble. And if the feed isn't clear, comment, but also it's going to be clear. So like, subscribe, send it to all your other problematic. Exactly.
It's
Lauren's like,
clear. It's always perfect.
Yeah.
Because 60 million people might try and stream us.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, at least we'll catch the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
We'll be really good last 5 minutes.
Love it.
But the breaking news today is that Jose Ibarra, the individual who was on trial for the murder of Georgia College nursing student Laken Riley, has been found guilty on all 10 counts that he faced. He has not been sentenced yet, so we don't know how long he will be in prison. He could face life in prison. The interesting thing about this is he waived his right to a jury trial and chose to just leave his fate in the hands of the judge, which from a legal perspective, I think was smart because there was no way that a jury of American citizens
nature
so
of it.
graphic, so graphic,
and public,
so public,
yeah,
and a hot button issue because this gets into illegal immigration. Jose Ibarra, a member of Tren de Aragua, the Venezuelan gang that was founded in prisons and came to the United States illegally, was arrested in New York, then was released before ICE could detain him, made his way down to Georgia, February 22nd. Murdered Laken Riley. So let's talk through this trial because my gosh, it was intense from the get-go.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about this yesterday, Virginia, and I think the saddest part about all of this is the fact that he shouldn't have been here. He came catch and release policy from the Biden administration in 2022, crossed the border illegally, and then made his way, I think first to New York and then to Georgia. And what's most heartbreaking to me too is just how close to where I went to school this was. UGA is Athens, Georgia is an amazing college town.
Small town.
It's small town, but so proud of its identity in football. Some of the greatest people.
Are they that proud this year?
Oh, maybe not this year, but don't get Virginia going on that one.
I'm such a bad fan. I'm like, go Georgia. I can't name any of the players, but go Georgia.
But like the point being that a lot of the people there, it's a tight-knit community, very proud. Everyone's kind of looking out for each other. And that is the thing that stuck out most about this trial in particular. We talk about things not normally talked about in trials like this, like Find My Friends, and her roommates testified. That I think was so insane.
It was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And I think like you just see yourself right in these girls. So it's like, this is kind of similar to like my college experience. But yeah, her roommates were literally the very first people to testify. So let's go ahead. Let's roll clip 2.
How would you describe your relationship with Laken?
We were roommates, but the term roommates is an overgeneralization of our relationship. We, our house was like a little family, and we called each other our family. We did everything together. We had family dinners, family TV nights and movie nights. Laken brought a sense of joy to all of our lives that has been missing ever since. So
that's Lily Steiner, and she was like one of the first roommates who realized that something just seemed off, because Laken was a runner. She'd often go on runs in the morning. So there's 4 of them that lived in this house in Athens together. And Lily woke up and wanted to go to coffee that morning with Laken. But then because they all had their location shared through Find My Friend. So she checked her location and was like, oh, Laken's on that trail that she usually runs on. She's on run. Yeah. So then she went, and Lily went and ran errands and then checked the app like an hour later. And was like, she has not moved from the spot.
And she actually texted Laken, I believe, and then texted the group. She's been in the woods for a while. Yeah. Which is kind of picturing this in your head. They live on a house. Behind them is a huge trail. There's a lake, kind of a retention pond. And it's wooded, paved path. But again, a lot of people I'm sure have run that path before in that community.
Oh, yeah. It's a common and it's a trail that she and another one of her roommates, Connolly, would regularly run on. Right. So just sort of moving through the timeline. So it was around like 9:30 in the morning, I think, that Lily checked the app, saw, okay, Laken's running. An hour later, then another roommate says, hey, we need to go look for her. So this was that roommate testifying. Let's roll clip 3.
So what happened when you were eventually able to get service back on?
I got back home, and when I got service, I had some text from Connolly, my roommate, asking me to check around the house to see if I saw Laken anywhere. And then once I got into the house, I got a phone call from Connolly and from Lauren.
Who's Lauren?
Lauren's Laken's younger sister.
After you got the call from Connolly and from Lauren, did you look for Laken?
Yes, I looked for her around the house, outside, in her car, kind of everywhere, every room, every corner, a few times, and I didn't see her.
What did you do after that?
I grabbed my dog and I decided to check her location on Find My iPhone, and then got my dog on his leash and started heading out to go towards her location.
Did you go alone, or did someone else besides your dog go with you?
Champ came with me, and then my roommate Lily.
Champ is your dog?
Yes, ma'am.
So where did y'all walk, and about how long did it take you to get there?
We walked down the trail that was like off the road, so it took us about no more than 15 minutes, so I'd say maybe 10 to get to where we got.
It's just, I'm like, man, like this feels like my friends, right? Like you think back to college and it's just like, these are just sweet young girls.
It's such a universal experience for young women who go to college, of like, you live in a house and you just kind of bond with these women where you know, your family's so far away, and it's the first time that you've ever really been on your own. And, the word family, I think, gets used a little too much, but the relationships that you create with these women in college, they're your bridesmaids, they're your, the people that your kids call aunt and uncle. Like, it is a really special time. And to see like these girls develop this special relationship, how brave of that one young woman to like go look for her friend. Because for me, I would have been like, oh, she probably dropped her phone, and ran to class. Yeah. And I don't know if I would like go get in my, go looking. Yeah.
So both Sophia and Lily, they get in the car, they go look, and Lily kind of described how that played out.
Yes, so I immediately pulled in and I saw Sophia standing outside with her dog, and I got out of the car and she just immediately said, can we go look for Laken?
And did y'all do so?
We did.
And what did y'all do?
So Sophia was a little bit more familiar with the trail. We walked down using her knowledge of the path that Laken would usually take on a run. And then when we got a little bit closer, we were using the Find My Friends app to kind of go directly to where her location was, until we were standing kind of right around it.
When you were at the location where you felt that Laken was showing on her phone, did you see Laken?
We did not.
Did you see anything that you think may have belonged to Laken?
So when we were walking, Sophia noticed a lone AirPod that was sitting on the trail, kind of right around where her location was, and she picked it up, kind of assuming that it was Laken's.
All right, now I'll ask Sophia about that. At some point, did you all return home?
We did.
Okay, when you got home, what did you do?
It wasn't shortly after that we got home that I called 911, or not 911, excuse me, the UGA Police Department.
And that's who they later went to.
Yeah.
All three roommates. So we've got Lily, we've got Sophia, and then Connolly, who hasn't spoken yet. But we'll hear from her in a second. Big thing here, again, they're walking kind of 15 minutes away. That's a walk, not too far. And they find the lone AirPod. I was, while we were watching all of this, kind of confused. So they find the AirPod, but not the phone itself. And do we know, is that because the phone was turned off?
The phone was so they showed a picture of where they found the phone in the courtroom, and it was like in a pile of leaves because it was
but nearby
February. So there, a lot of down leaves. It was in the woods. So it was nearby, but it was on silent. We know it was on silent. And so in silent, it leaves on the ground. Not easy to find.
Yeah. And in that clip, you can actually see Jose, the whole they're testifying as they're testifying. Which
again, use his name. Just call him the murderer.
The murderer.
Yeah.
He's sure. Yeah. No, I mean he is the murderer. You can see the murderer, but
illegal alien.
I mean I don't know how to refer to a murderer. Like I've never done that, but I mean I have. But the murderer, he's wearing like the headphones because he can't understand, and that's
Spanish,
what's like. Probably the most insane part to me. His roommate or brother, or it's his roommate, testified as well. And while the prosecutor was questioning the roommate, there's a translator. So he has the roommate has the headphones, and then the translator's talking to him as well and translating what he's saying. And this is the craziest part to me. The guy starts responding, the roommate, and the translator is then cut off. I don't remember by who, but he was talking about a conversation that the roommate was having with the murderer, and he was starting to say, the murderer said, and then they cut him off. And I just think that's so, again, this is a trial by the judge, not a jury. But as Americans, like, that to me is such a disservice. Like, I don't speak Spanish, so I don't know exactly what might have slipped. I don't know. I thought that was so weird, but that's kind of a tangent. We're weaving away from the story. Like we said, we're about to hear from
Connolly.
And
Connolly was, her main running buddy. And she kind of described a little bit of how she learned, okay, something is amiss.
I got a call from Lauren, Laken's sister, and I didn't answer because I was in class. And then she called me again, and I didn't answer. And I texted her, and I said, like, I'm in class, what's up? And she asked me if I'd heard from Laken, and I immediately went into panic. I stepped outside of the class and I called Lauren back and said I'll try to figure out what's going on. So I then called my two roommates, and both of their phones went immediately to voicemail, and then I tried calling Laken, and her phone rang and then went to voicemail.
Why were you panicked immediately?
Just because she would run for a long time, but I knew she had class that day, and I knew that she wasn't one to be late or off schedule.
All right. So
again, just so brave of these girls, I think, to stand up. I mean, there was some the trial started Friday, ended Wednesday morning. Really emotional moments. Mom had to leave the courtroom, I think, multiple times.
I mean,
crying.
Connolly also teared up while
Connolly did. Yeah. And these girls they just did a great job.
They're brave.
Yeah. Very, very brave. So
I'm just curious. So while we're on it, do you guys share your location with friends? Is that a good...
I have thought, because of this trial, I'm like, I'm going to start doing that. Like, my sister has my location, but she's the only one. I'm like, I need to share my location with a ton more people.
I mean, Lauren, you know the answer to that. We share locations.
I need to share my location with you guys.
I
have a lot of people too, and my whole family has my location.
Yeah, and like, this is a game changer. Like, it's a practice that I guess as especially I think as young women, it's like, man, this is really important because Laken did everything right. Like she had her location shared, and then we learned in evidence that was presented by the judge that she immediately, when she was confronted, I mean, that confrontation with Jose Ibarra, like within a few seconds, because she was wearing a watch that was tracking like her movement. From the moment I think she stopped moving, it was like only like 6 seconds until she activated the emergency feature on her phone. So she knew how to do that, which we were talking about this morning.
Do you want to demonstrate?
You demonstrate, Lauren.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's
show
our
us
digital
how it's
expert.
done.
Yes. So
got a phone.
I have an iPhone with an adorable photo of my niece.
So cute.
So if you press and hold the side button, so either the up or down volume and then the side, this is an iPhone, it'll bring you to this screen here, which you can do SOS. But if you're ever in an emergency and you can't really use your phone, if you hold the side button and either of the volume buttons, it'll eventually just go to keep holding to emergency services. Now I'm going to stop it so we don't call 911. But yeah, so you hold the side button and the bottom button, just like if you were to power off your iPhone, but you just hold it for a second longer and it'll call the police, which I think is really good to know and really good. If you're ever walking and you're unsure, just keep your fingers on those buttons.
Yeah.
Right.
Are there any other things that you all like have with you? Like you run, like if you go for a run, do you run with mace or?
I'm going to be honest. I have not run on a path in a while because of this, unless I'm with my boyfriend who's much bigger than me. My sister also has just trained for a marathon. She just finished a Chicago marathon, and she lives in the Midwest. And whenever she was on runs, I remember distinctly one time my mom literally was tracking her, and this is all post this horrible brutal murder. I run on treadmills now. I'm too nervous to do it. And I literally in 2019 trained for the Marine Corps Marathon and ran all over DC. It is, just a different time than we had just literally 4 years ago, which is scary. But if I were to run, definitely would have my phone and my AirPods, my watch as well. And then, I probably now would take a fanny pack with some sort of mace, or you can get those little knuckle buckle things. Don't know if that would be super comfy.
To run with that,
But the one thing I was talking about this earlier with someone, I do feel a little more confident just because I do CrossFit and I'm able to, throw weight around. But at the same time, I'm still 5 foot something.
Can throw down.
Yeah.
One thing I think is really important, especially if you're in the city, but this shows that it doesn't matter where you are. You could be in fairly rural Georgia. But I've always used, especially the time that I had when I actually lived in the city, is bone conduction headphones. So they actually hit you like right here. And your ears stay open. So that way, if somebody comes up on you, I think that's way better. I mean, nobody loves her AirPods. I mean, I literally have them in my pocket. Nobody loves her AirPods more than me. But I think as a woman, or really anybody outside, you need to be aware of your surroundings. And I think those bone conduction headphones, while they're not quite as loud and the audio quality isn't as great as actual headphones, they've come down a lot in price. So I think if you run outside, it's something you should seriously consider, because then you can hear, okay, somebody is walking up behind me or somebody, is screaming for help or whatever.
I love hiking, but I really don't. I've tried hiking by myself, and like I'll take a knife and mace and whatever. But
Virginia always shocks me with the knife stories.
Well, the funny thing, so I think I went to like REI or something and bought a knife, and then I opened it, but I couldn't figure out how to close it, so I had to call my brother-in-law. I was like, how do these things work?
I love it.
I did that in my first internship. I was opening up a knife and I had to bring it back into the office and be like, I
don't know how to close this.
Excuse me, I need help.
But for me, it's not. I think it's really good. Like, it's not fun to do stuff alone because I'm just in my head the whole time.
No, totally.
Because of stories just
like
this.
And this is a very populated area. The other thing I choose to do is, if I do run on trails, make it by somewhere where there's lots of cars. So George Washington Parkway is like, there's some trails there.
Yeah, it's wide open.
Right on the street. Like, there's always cars going by. Like, that would be a dumb place for someone to be lurking. Although you never know. I probably shouldn't have even said the name of the parkway. But I mean,
do you like to run on the mall? Like, do you not run on the mall anymore?
Honestly, I don't run anywhere. Like, I just run on I will put a Netflix, if it's clear, movie on, and I will...
You watch a movie and you run?
Yeah, it's honestly the best. Like, if you're looking for efficiency, that's why I do CrossFit. And then also, Like just, yeah. It's distracting. I did it this morning.
It's kind of
7
brilliant,
miles.
though. 7 miles.
7 miles on the treadmill. You just have to put the incline.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
maybe I need like a really intense, like Jack Bryan type thing.
Yeah.
Like, if he's jumping from roofs,
you're like,
I can do it too.
I was watching this trial this morning and I'm like,
make you run faster.
Yeah.
Well, the prosecuting attorney, a woman, did just
amazing.
Such a stellar job. Her opening statement, I think, just had everybody like, okay, she's locked in.
Yeah.
I was pretty blown away by how she started off. So let's go ahead and let's roll. This is clip 6.
May it please the court, counsel. On February 22nd, Jose Ibarra put on a black hat, a hoodie-style jacket, and some black kitchen-style disposable gloves. And he went hunting for females on the University of Georgia's campus. And in his hunt, he encountered 22-year-old Laken Riley on her morning jog. And when Laken Riley refused to be his rape victim, he bashed her skull in with a rock repeatedly.
Probably should have said before we played that that's kind of graphic. Sorry, guys. But so sobering. And some of the most damaging evidence that was presented during the trial against Jose Ibarra was that his DNA was found under Laken Riley's fingernails. So we know that she fought, and she fought hard. He had scars on his arms when he was arrested the next day. And his cell phone data showed that he was in the same area as Laken Riley when she was killed. There was also a fingerprint found on Laken Riley's phone, and there was a hole in the gloves that he was wearing. And so it seems that he ended the phone call to 911 on her phone.
Did you guys hear that phone call, by the way? I was, like I said, I was looking into this case this morning, and it is
amplified version that the FBI.
Yeah, it's eerie. It's eerie.
Well, because you hear these like couple of thuds, and you're not sure what that is.
If she's falling or something,
or something else,
something sad.
Yeah.
Why didn't the cops just send somebody out?
That's my question, because there was 18 minutes from the time that she made the call. I think that might need to fact check that, but I'm pretty sure I heard 18 minutes between the time that she made the signal to the time that her heart stopped. And that was also an astounding way that they were able to show data tracking her watch and her phone.
Technology, yeah.
Yeah, they were even able to show at one point, I think it was at 9:10. So this is post her signaling to 911 that she needs help. She starts sprinting because the mile pace average that they show, it went from about a 7-minute mile. Again, this girl is in shape. She long distance runner, goes from a 7-minute average to a 5.9 mile per hour average. So she is sprinting. She's fighting. Just like this, honestly, this prosecutor, what I loved about her is she was fighting almost as hard as Laken was. And she, later says, I think it was in her closing arguments today. I don't think we have any clips from that, but in her closing arguments today, she talks about what a fighter she is and how she, refused to be a rape victim. And really, if we talk about what the defense focused on in this case, it was really just the sexual assault charges. So they start playing that card. The prosecutor brings Connolly, actually, and has a video of Laken and then a photo of Laken where it's kind of showing how her leggings look, because she was running in leggings, and that's how she was found, with her leggings pulled down and below her belly button. And again, just like the attention to detail that this prosecutor used to just fully portray the story and show how guilty this murderer and just, person was.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's a really important conversation too, as we're getting ready for a Trump administration, for Tom Homan to be border czar. And Trump has been very clear that he intends to launch mass deportations of illegal aliens, beginning with individuals like Jose Ibarra, members with a criminal record, members of gangs like Tren de Aragua, that those are going to be the first people that that are removed from the country.
Well, the prosecutor was so correct. He woke up that morning, got dressed, and went hunting for a victim.
Yeah.
He did not, this was not he had an idea like, okay, I'm running on the trail too, and I see this girl. Like, this man woke up that day and wanted to inflict violence on this poor woman, whether that was rape or murder.
Yeah.
He and that is just despicable.
Yeah.
And that is
And it shows you who's coming into our country, honestly. And we talked about this last week. People were maybe a little shocked that Kristi Noem, or not shocked, but people just were wondering what the rationale behind Kristi Noem was for the Secretary of Department of Homeland Defense. Homeland Security. Sorry. Lots of,
so many appointments.
But I wonder if the Laken Riley trial had something to do with that at all. You know, the empathy, like she's a female strength. A lot of women have totally suffered under the Biden administration's open border policy and just the poor defense, Homeland Security we have right now. I wonder if in Trump's mind was, when he was making this decision, he thought to himself, I want a woman to bring justice and to make this country safer for the women that have suffered. Part of me thinks maybe that had something to do with it.
It certainly could be. It certainly could be. Well, on a topic that is still heavy, but not life or death.
Sorry, that was...
Well, can I just say one more thing? So,
please.
You know, I've been around for a while. And I lived in D.C. in 2019. And I would walk around late into the evening, even in areas that are, you know, maybe not like your traditional DC areas. And I always felt safe.
Yeah.
This is 2019.
Wow. Yeah.
And then 2020, everything changed.
Right.
And so I just think that we are going to go back to a time like 2019 where we're just going to take criminal justice and these issues seriously again as a country. And I really hope, I mean, to your point, for the women of this country, but for everybody, that we can live in societies, whether you live in a metropolitan area or you live in a college town or you live in a country town, that you can go outside your house, especially when it gets dark at 5:30 at night, and not have to worry about your physical safety. I mean, that is a piece that we as Americans should feel, and it's just it's gross that we've let politicians, especially on the left, with these rogue prosecutors and these crazy DAs and these Democrat politicians who just want to let in all these immigrants, and we really need to stand up. And I think you're right. I'm excited for Kristi Noem, but we really need to make sure that we hold everyone accountable and know that as Americans, like, we deserve to be safe.
Yeah. Well, and those trying to protect us deserve to have the support.
100%.
The border agents, the police officers. I mean, 2020 is when we started to see the huge push for defunding the police.
I mean, most of the police officers are actually called peace officers,
right?
Because they keep peace in our society.
Exactly. And that, we need to have their backs as well in all of this.
Well, that was a point that was made. There was a hearing yesterday on Capitol Hill, like a joint subcommittee hearing under the House Homeland Security Committee. And someone raised that point of illegal aliens that have come into this country are often trying to escape situations. And it's the very situation that's now being created in the United States of increased crime and lack of safety and theft and all of these things. And if something is not done, then we're on the trajectory to just become like one of those third world countries. And so that is why it's good that we have incoming folks that really have this almost like locked in. All right, we're going to protect our country and we're going to get back to a place where, Lauren, like you said, people can walk out their front door and feel like they can actually enjoy their life and go on a run and not be worried. Critical.
Okay, now lighten the mood.
Yeah, please.
We're just gonna go like 1 or 2 notches down. Okay. So bathrooms.
Oh no.
Bathrooms. Wow, what a controversial topic for a long time.
So who founded Problematic Woman with me back in the day? Kelsey Boller. In 2016. It was when the North Carolina bathroom bills were like the first in this issue. And we joked that she was on the bathroom beat.
Oh my gosh.
Problematic Woman is forever on the bathroom.
We're back on the beat.
But back on the bathroom beat.
The bathroom beat just won't go away.
We'll make you proud, Kelsey. Okay, so there's controversy right now in Congress because for the first time, we have a male who identifies as a woman as an incoming member of Congress. So they're going to be arriving on Capitol Hill very, very soon, going through some training, things like that right now. And so then you have another member of Congress, Congresswoman Nancy Mace of South Carolina. She's a Republican, and she has introduced a rule on Capitol Hill to say, hey, we shouldn't allow men to use women's bathrooms. And she was asked by the press, like, hey, does this have anything to do with that incoming, they use the word transgender, but, this individual who is a man who identifies as a woman. And she does not mince words in her answer.
So if that being a feminist makes me an extremist, I'm totally here for it.
Is this effort in response to Congresswoman McBride's coming to Congress?
Yes, and absolutely, and then some. I'm not going to stand for a man, if someone with a penis is in the women's locker room, that's not okay. And I'm a victim of abuse myself. I'm a rape survivor. I have PTSD from the abuse I've suffered at the hands of a man. And I know how vulnerable women and girls are in private spaces. So I'm absolutely 100% going to stand in the way of any man who wants to be in a women's restroom, in our locker rooms, in our changing rooms. I will be there fighting you every step of the way.
All right, so this incoming member of Congress is Tim McBride, identifies as Sarah McBride. And then you have the Congresswoman we just watched, Nancy Mace, who's like, yeah, we're not doing this. Yeah. We are absolutely not doing this. And I just have to give her kudos for just saying it like it is. And I'm sure making all those journalists whoa.
Yeah. Well, she literally put up a little sign above a ladies' room in the Capitol that says biological.
Yep. Yeah.
Let's just say the facts.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. We live in a society where up is down and down is up.
And I think House Speaker Johnson, he did a really good job of also he was not, can't be Mace on this one. She's fiery. And also I had no idea about, she was a rape survivor. That shows you she's not just doing this to virtue signal. She's doing this because she doesn't want anyone else to suffer from what she has suffered from. And I think what was interesting about Speaker Johnson, he says to the media when they're asking about this bill and asking about what's gonna happen with the future of the bathrooms. Okay, press, what are we talking about? He kind of says, a man is a man, a woman is a woman. I've said this from the time I grew up with this. This is what I believe. I've never changed my mind, but at the same time, we can have empathy. And I think that's really important here. We need to fight and ensure that women are protected, but at the same time, treat people with respect.
Absolutely.
Treating people with respect does not mean that you have to invite them into the wrong bathroom to make them feel heard. That's what I think the left has kind of manipulated when it comes to empathy, when it comes to the word respect. Those two words, they say that and they expect you to comply. Respect and empathy doesn't mean you have to comply at all. And I love that Representative Nancy Mace is taking such a hard stand because someone needs to.
Well, it's a failure to compromise on what is true, right? You can be compassionate and say, the facts are the facts and the facts remain. And you're, I love you as a person, as a human being. And these are the facts and we're not going to compromise.
It's funny. Sorry. I'm going to say one more thing. I was watching a video and it was an early debate for a local office. President Barack Obama was running for, and I can't remember the name of the guy he was debating, but it was in Chicago. And Obama just stares at his competitor, the man he's debating, as he pretty much destroys the argument of what you just said, where we're using facts, we're manipulating facts and truth. And the way he explained it is like a worm in an apple. He was talking about gay marriage. And he says, you're totally disrupting what marriage is. And I know that's not totally the same thing as transgender, but the way he explains it is you have an apple and there's a worm in it. That doesn't mean the worm is an apple. It simply means the worm is in the apple. And he relates that to gay marriage. And I think it can be related to, the transgender argument. Just because you say you're a man, just because you say you're a woman does not mean that you are a woman and can go into the bathroom. You are a worm in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's a good way of
hopefully no one.
Well, it's autogynephilia, and I think that's really most of these men who were purporting to be women are. And I mean, I saw the social media post from this, future representative. And it's him in the bathroom, like a women's bathroom, with like all the stalls behind him, being like, "I deserve to be here just as you." I was like, I have never gone into a bathroom and taken a selfie of myself like in front of stall. Like, of course, like you do like your cute bathroom, but like it's never been like, look at me in the bathroom. Like,
was someone in there? Like, also,
I don't know, but there's just something where, Virginia, I think you're right. Like, we want to be compassionate, but I do think there is some sort of chemical imbalance with a lot of these people. And that, Nancy Mace is right to throw up the flag of saying, like, we need to be careful and we need to protect the people who need to be protected. I mean, it goes back to this Laken Riley thing, too. The country decided to put the murderer in his, situation ahead of poor young Laken Riley. And I mean, again, this is the exact same situation with Representative Mace. And I think it's interesting because Representative Mace was one of the people, one of the first female graduates of Citadel. So she understands what it's like to, you know, kind of be the person who breaks the glass ceiling. But I think, you know, I've seen a lot of people be like, how dare she, you know, she went into this men's only space. I'm like, no, it's completely different. She is not asking to go into the men's locker rooms at the Citadel. She was just asking for the same opportunity at the Citadel that the man has. Right. And we're not saying that nobody in the Capitol is allowed to use the bathroom. You know, like we will find accommodations for these people. Exactly. But also standing up for women and their rights. So yeah, I don't know if I would say I'm the world's biggest Nancy Mace fan, but I think here I'm definitely very much behind her.
Yeah. Well, always refreshing when you see people draw a line in the sand.
Yeah. Let's very say what we mean and be clear about it.
And follow through with action. Well, it's been really fascinating to continue to watch who Trump is picking. I think that's like the background of this whole season is just, I feel like every time I get a notification from Truth Social on my phone, I'm like, is it
right. It's like you're at dinner and the ping happens. Yeah.
It's like who do you point? It's like watching the NFL draft.
Yeah. Honestly, it is.
And with the 8th pick, Donald Trump picks.
Literally. I love that.
But it's been, Kristen, you raised, which I didn't realize that a lot of these folks that he is choosing, they have these really big families, which is an interesting trend.
Well, full props here to DC Drano, which is an account on Instagram. And he actually mapped out each of the appointments so far as of Monday, I believe. Yeah. And he kind of goes through the nominations and Trump himself, actually. And the point he raises is that they all are very pro-family and they all have a ton of kids, which means, in my opinion, that they're very invested in the future of this country and the future that they pass on to their children. And let's just run through some of these, you know, highlights. President Trump obviously has 5 kids.
Yep.
Barron being one of them. I just have to make sure that I drop that name down once, at least Barron. In this episode, right? Then we've got Vance, VP Vance. He's got 3 kids. RFK, 7 kids. That's going to be...
I didn't know he had 7. That's a lot of kids.
Same. Honestly, like very impressed. And there's a few more people, including the next guy, Hegseth, our Department of Defense Secretary. Pete Hegseth has 7 kids. Marco Rubio has 4. Elon has 12. We all knew he had a lot. And then just a few more. Burgum, who's going to work at Interior, has 3. Noam has 3. Walz has 3. And Dr. Oz, who was named, I think, yesterday, has 4.
Has 4. Well, and incoming press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, she has just had a baby.
A newborn.
Wow. Yeah. A newborn. So that's also wild. Super cute. You have all of these people
that are fighting for a country for their kids.
Yeah. And I do have hope on the front when it like goes back to like the things like not allowing men into women's sports or in bathrooms.
Yeah.
This is personal.
Yeah.
They have daughters. It's personal.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that
they're invested. And that's why when RFK goes and starts to challenge the status quo on what is this yellow dye in our Fruit Loops, he's doing it to ensure that not only his kids, but also everyone else, you know, we're protected.
I've loved the reels of like people eating like Little Debbie and they're like, I'm enjoying it until RFK takes it away.
It's kind of like when you're about to go on a diet, you like eat whatever you want and then you can't.
My favorite is like when RFK comes to ban the Diet Cokes. And it's like the grandma in the Capitol on January 6th with the Diet Coke in her hand.
Lauren will be right in there. Don't take it.
Don't put on my Diet Coke.
It also seems appropriate to mention it's November, which is National Adoption Month, which is cool for anyone out there celebrating. Happy National Adoption Month. Yeah. But we will be back we're not really going anywhere. I'm just going to tell you guys an ad. I'm going to share an ad with you. And then we're going to jump into a little bit of a fun question. So if you guys need more great news every week, if you're like, yeah, problematic women is good, but I need more news. More. Then check out the Daily Signals podcast, Top News in 10. So we have recently just rebranded that podcast to be exactly 10 minutes because we want to respect your time and we want to make sure we are getting you the big news of the day every single weekday in a way that is fast and succinct and also super informative. So if you open any podcast app, search for the Daily Signal podcast, hit that subscribe button. Then every weekday around 5 o'clock, you will get a 10-minute rundown of the news. And then on the weekends, we're bringing more in-depth interview conversations that you can go a little bit deeper into a policy issue. So subscribe to the Daily Signal podcast. With that, Kristen.
If I catch you guys at like 10:05, do I get a prize?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad we have that on camera.
Actually, no, John Pop will kill me.
LOL.
I'm pretty sure we were like 10:06 the other day. John was like, it's fine.
Now I'm going to listen to every episode just so I can be like,
over.
Tom
over
is at 10:07.
It's done.
You lie.
But no, let's hop to some comments.
We've gotten some nice comments from
we've
people.
got some nice. Well, I'm gonna talk about our question first from last week because I'm not going to the compliments yet, which I hope they are. No, the first thing that I wanted to cover is we asked a question last week. Actually, Lauren, if you think of an answer in the time that I read all of these, I want to hear it. Last week we asked who your favorite celebrity, where they would, not who they were, but where would you put your favorite celebrity in terms of an appointment. So, DHS, DOD, all of the fun places. And we had some fun comments. I'm excited to read them. At mbrown18 said Christina Aguilera as press secretary.
Could you imagine Trump just saying, like, I am beautiful in every single way. Words can't bring me down. I think it's perfect.
I mean, yeah, that's
mbrown18.
That's totally channeling the energy. And then we've got at Lee Fowler 8594 said Willie Nelson at the DEA.
I don't think Heritage would be supportive of that.
I don't. I had to say it though. I mean, we've got Emily Black who wants Cillian Murphy as the director of the CIA.
Who's that?
He's the guy from Oppenheimer and Peaky Blinders.
Oh.
Or it's Cillian. It's Cillian, I think.
Yeah.
Cillian?
I'm so bad with
as long as he wears like the old timey clothes.
Right. He's got to wear the Peaky Blinders hat. Yeah. And then at Stefanse, it said Prince Harry for ambassador to the UK. In parentheses, it would be epic. And then also, these are awesome. Whoever ran Wendy's Twitter when it was really edgy in 2022 for press secretary.
100%, yes.
And then the last one, these are all from Stefanse. These are fire. Liam Neeson, the Taken character as the DHS secretary, because I will find you. So I love all of those.
I absolutely love those. Thank you guys for responding. Well, for
love
some
it.
Nice comments, we have Southern Girls Society left us a comment on YouTube. She said, "Good Lord, these gals are good, very classy and very professional." Thank you.
Wow, are they
so
are you sure was she on the right video?
Lauren. She actually said that about us.
You haven't been here in a while, Lauren.
That's why she said classy.
So this gives me hope for the rest of our kids close to these ages. It can be done, folks. Kudos to the parents for putting the intentional time and effort to raise such strong, intelligent women we see here. Super impressed.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
I know. Wow. Thanks, Mom and Dad. It's like, that's so nice. And then we have from Misty Violet 3825. It just says, thanks so much. Thank you with a heart so much, dear ladies. I heart these podcasts. So
you guys did not appreciate the Prince Harry for ambassador to the UK enough. Like, how awkward would that be? That'd be so funny.
She's too busy basking in praise.
She
for
just
herself.
loves the compliments. But let's go back to the awkwardness.
Get to the compliments about me.
Yeah. She's pulling a Meghan Markle.
Ooh, that's why she didn't want me. She's Team Meghan.
Let's not talk about Harry. Let's talk about me.
Fair.
All right. Well, question of this week.
That was so good. We need to do a new one.
IG. Yeah, I mean, if you guys have something special, I have like a fun Thanksgiving.
No.
Okay.
I want the Thanksgiving.
All right, so we have our Thanksgiving episode coming out next week. I'm very excited. We're going to be in the kitchen cooking a Thanksgiving meal together.
Turkey.
Mashed
potatoes.
Time cooking a turkey. So it's going to be a while.
We were brave.
And we're releasing, by the way, on Tuesday next week because we're not going to release on Thursday.
You mean people are going to wake up and be like, I mean, with all that praise, you think they'd be like, wow.
Like, let's skip
They'd turn it on while they were baking.
Day parade. Let's just watch Problematic Women.
Actually, people should watch Problematic Women instead of the Macy's Day Parade.
They should.
I mean, in fairness, I watched the Macy's Day Parade.
Oh, of course
she just ousted
It's all
herself.
about the Rockettes, guys.
Wow.
Fair. Fair. No, but if you need help with your Thanksgiving prep, we got you.
We have you covered. Sort of.
But you need to start the day before. That's also why we're releasing on Tuesday.
Yeah,
you need like
so
48 hours for a smaller turkey.
You got to frost that turkey, guys.
You should start now.
It is not fast.
It's
you
not.
Frost that thing.
He's frozen right now.
On Tuesday, we're going to be releasing on YouTube TBD on whether we're actually going to release across podcast platforms with the full show, because it's a lot of us fumbling around in the kitchen, and
There's not much ASMR either.
It's going to be a lot more fun to watch than listen. So we'll probably have a little tease on audio, but then catch us on YouTube.
Just check out YouTube. It's just as easy.
But to the end of anyway, I'm saying this wrong. With Thanksgiving in mind.
There's the transition.
There we go.
Stuck it.
Boom.
If you had to eliminate one side dish, it's gone from the Thanksgiving
green bean casserole
dinner. Oh,
green bean casserole. It's gross, and there's mushrooms in it.
Would you eat just green beans or just mushrooms?
I hate mushrooms.
Okay,
but I would eat just green beans.
Okay,
I'm gonna make
So
green. I'm gonna make. So you want to know what I'm making for my Thanksgiving dinner?
Making?
Okay. I'm calling it.
Which you're hosting.
I'm hosting.
Woo!
Your whole family.
Oh, that could have been a high five. I was just like sparkles.
So I'm calling it Turk and Turf.
Turk and Turf.
So I'm getting a 12-pound turkey.
Okay.
And then I'm going to get 4 pounds of ribeyes.
Ooh.
So we're going to have Turk and Turf.
That's amazing.
And we're going to cook the steaks on the grill when the meal's almost done.
Love it.
So I'm going to make mac and cheese. Obviously a classic. I am going to make a corn casserole, which is Paula Dean's recipe. Look it up. It's very good.
Like
very
5
easy.
sticks of butter, no doubt.
Oh yeah. It's literally just like cream corn, regular corn, a box of Jiffy, and butter, and you just and cheese, and you bake it, and it's delicious. It's my sister's favorite. I'm going to make green beans that I'm going to cook in butter, and then I'm going to add slivered almonds. I'm going to do
That's how we do it.
I'm going to do stuffing, which I'm very excited for.
Homemade or from a box?
From a bag. I got a bag of Kinder's.
Better. Don't waste your time.
I know you guys use a lot of Kinders.
We love Kinders.
We love Kinders, so I'm very excited for that.
We should ask them to be a sponsor. Just kidding. I don't know if we're allowed to do that.
I think I'm going to make a fall salad, like with some
cranberries.
Yeah.
I thought you said fall salad, and I was going to be
what I
like
said, yeah,
chips.
Fall salad.
False.
Oh, fall salad. Yeah.
ALL salad.
Salad.
See, I heard that.
Then my grandpa loves cream onions. I'm going to get a pie. And I've decided, the people of problematic women, that I'm going to get store-bought mashed potatoes and sweet potatoes. Because I would rather focus on the other sides.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So what my family has started doing at Christmas, because we want to enjoy the day and not focus a ton on dinner, is you get store-bought mashed potatoes, and then you can just like add 2 potatoes to it.
And then it just,
kind of makes it like more homemade-y feeling and makes it a little better.
Somebody told my mom in the store at Aldi's that their Aldi's frozen sweet potato casserole is just as good as anything you can make.
Ooh,
so
good to know.
I got that, which I'm very excited for. So
I love it.
Yeah,
we have a full rundown.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys are doing a meal too. So
yeah, I mean, well, the one on the show.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not cooking Thanksgiving dinner this year. My aunt is, and she runs an inn and is essentially a professional chef.
Oh, wow, is she Suki?
I wish. No.
I want to go visit her.
I love you, Eileen. You're amazing.
I want to visit your aunt.
Yeah, she's actually really legit.
We should go do a PW sleepover at her inn.
What would you eliminate, Kristen?
Okay.
One thing's got to leave the table.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, when you watch the Thanksgiving episode, eventually, I mean, you should know this. I hate stuffing. I think it is so gross. So soggy bread. Don't even get the box stuff. Just leave it. Just have a roll instead.
If you're eating soggy bread, you're making your stuffing wrong.
It's a box, and then you throw liquid on it.
Like putting too much liquid on it.
Yeah, and you're probably not baking
on it. Okay, well, you're insulting my mother's cooking, so I'm gonna leave.
What's your mom's name?
Catherine.
You're a lovely woman.
We love you.
No, we're not doing that. I will fight you.
It's not about you, Catherine.
It's not about my mom. Honestly, I don't even know if she makes the stuffing anymore. But I'm going to be running a half marathon that morning. But then, as a result of like our little adventure cooking, I might actually try to be a little more involved in the cooking this year. That's not a promise, Mom. I'm not promising that right now. I might feel differently.
Just said it to the world,
Kristen. Well, I know, but this is my like.
Also, what have you added? So I like my stuffing with sausage.
We're still. I don't know.
I've never added sausage to stuff.
That sounds good.
I love sausage and stuffing.
I just like, I don't know what it is
protein?
about stuffing. Yeah, honestly, that's my problem. I need more protein. I don't know. I don't like it. I like pretty much everything
Catherine,
else.
I want to like recant my statement. This sounds like a Kristen problem, not a you problem.
We love you, Catherine.
Definitely a Kristen
This is definitely a Kristen problem. But yeah, maybe try adding a little sausage.
Maybe I will. Maybe I will.
A little protein.
But my favorite thing about Thanksgiving, the thing I would never chop ever, is the sandwich you make afterwards. You have French bread, turkey, canned cranberry sauce, a little bit of mayo, and oh god,
what's Ross's good. The secret is the the piece of bread in the middle.
Yeah.
That he soaked in gravy.
Yeah.
I love it.
So good.
What about you, Virginia?
I think I would nix the rolls.
That's not an answer. You got to redo that. No, that's not an answer.
Everyone has
love the rolls.
Pillsbury Doughboy rolls on their Thanksgiving table.
You got to pick something else.
Okay, fine. Mac and cheese. Then.
Okay.
Okay, and that's only I like mac and cheese. 2 reasons why I would throw out the mac and cheese. One, there's logic. One, I did not grow up with having mac and cheese at Thanksgiving dinner, and then 2, I try to eat gluten free, and there's definitely a lot of gluten in mac and cheese. So
see, that's a real answer.
Thank you.
Thanksgiving is not the gluten free holiday.
It's not. But because of Trader Joe's, shout out to Trader Joe's.
Oh yeah,
they have like everything gluten free, and their gluten free stuffing is actually really good. And I'm actually going to make that gluten free stuffing.
Wow.
When we make our Thanksgiving meal here with you next week. So catch that. All right. Well done, guys.
Yeah.
And happy early Thanksgiving. I listened to my first Christmas song yesterday.
Oh no.
It has begun. So I think we've hit that point, and then we'll be decorating a little bit later on.
Maybe we'll decorate the studio a little bit.
Oh, that would be fun.
That could be for an episode.
Yeah, like in December. We'll
maybe not like all of them because Tim will kill us, but and maybe Lauren too.
Yeah, producer.
Maybe one episode. Can we have one?
We're just gonna put some wallpaper or wrapping paper on the walls.
We literally have LED lights that will change color.
I love it.
Oh, we could time it like with the Christmas song. No, we're not doing that. That's too much work. Well. Anyway, all right. Well, happy Thanksgiving, guys. We'll see you back here on Tuesday, though, for our real Thanksgiving episode. In the meantime, like, subscribe. Let us know what you think about the show.
Tell us how clear our feed is.
Yeah.
Maybe give Catherine some love since Lauren hated on her a little bit. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Tell people how classy I am on this YouTube comments.
I love it. We'll see you right back here next week.
Awesome. Woo-woo.